Hey, what's up? Dillio coming to you with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about auto punching on the MPC Live and also on other platforms, but primarily the MPC Live or MPC2 software. And I think this is a very overlooked thing, and even myself, it was very overlooked. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to just kind of walk you through a little bit of how to set up the over punching and why you would use it. So I made a little beat with some 808 drums. Really simple, straightforward, and you got the same pattern going on for each 4 bars. Okay, and then maybe I might want to add a second track. We can go to the screen so I can show you what's going on. So I can go to the screen and then add a little bit of a bass line. So we just got a really basic beat here, nothing special. But maybe I want to add like a drum fill. So there's a few ways you can do this. Like you could just try and erase everything and try to get everything right. But what about auto punching? So maybe I want to add a little bit of a pitch drum, right? So let's talk about how do I get that pitch snare drum without really moving too far. So if I hit the 16 level button and then I select tune instead of velocity, now I have 16 tunes. And if I want velocity, I have 16 velocities. But we're going to go to the tune of the snare. You got to make sure you select your sample first. Hit 16 levels and then hit tune. Something like that, right? So I want to add that in. Really basic beat, and I just wanted to kind of keep it really simple. So let's talk about how to go to auto punch. So you want to hit menu, then you want to actually no, scratch that. You go ahead and hit the time code at the top of the screen. Now when you hit the time code at the top of the screen, you're going to see some options on there. You're going to see off, you're going to see in, and you're going to see like this little punch in thing. And what we want to hit on is in. And what in does, it turns on auto punching. So what does that mean? So basically what that means is that while the beat is playing, and if you hit record and play, normally if you hit record and play, you're recording immediately as soon as you hit the play button. With auto punch, the software or the sequencer will not record you until a specific time or a specific bar. So in this case, I want to add like a sort of like a 808 or like a little drum fill. So I want that last drum fill to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I go to measure 4 on the punch in, and then I come out of there to 0, punch in 4, tick 1. What's going to happen, and as you can see on the screen, I'm going to show you to kind of give you a better representation. So on the screen over here on the top right, you notice that this is set in red there. So what that means is that if I hit record now, it will clear all of this out, all this data here, and it's going to record whatever I play in. So if I want to do that, so let's do it non-destructively by overdubbing, meaning that if I'm going to overdub onto the sequence, it's going to leave everything on there and dub on top of it together. What record will do is erase everything that's there and only put down what you record for that specific time. And as you can see in the sequence, all I'm going to do is touch measure 4 all the way to the end of the loop. So let's overdub that drum fill by hitting overdub and play start, and let's hear what happens. 3, 4. So we got the simple beat going, measure 2. And look at the top of the screen, it's getting ready to let us record. So we got that there. So when the loop comes back around, we're going to hear that extra little drum fill that I put in there. But it's drowned out by everything else. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to do it destructively, meaning I want to get rid of everything in there so it's just the drum snare by itself. So now we hear that with the drum fill in there with everything going on. But now we're going to go ahead and hit record, which means it's going to clear out everything in there. We're just going to have that drum fill come in on there on measure 4. Once again, we're only punching in at measure 4. So let's go ahead and start up again. 3, 4, and same regular beat. But notice what happens when I play the drum fill. Everything else is going to get cleared out the way. Here we go. So now let's play it back and let's see what happens. And maybe I want to add a little kick drum to that. So if I don't want to clear out that snare, now I can overdub, and we're still punching in just on measure 4 out of this 4-bar loop. Once again, pay attention to the top here. This is where you can set it up on the screen. I'm doing it from the controller, but the thing represents the same way. So now, if I hit overdub, I'm going to add that kick drum, or maybe add all that together. So let's add that all together. I got overdub recording. We know we're blinking. We got the punching set up on measure 4. Here we go. So let's hear how it plays back all together. Cool. And maybe I want to add a little bit of a, and I can do that. So if I can get real surgical, so maybe I want to add a little bit of a little snare fill around measure 3, bar beat number 4. Well, I can do that. I can go to measure 3 on the controller and set measure 3 to measure 4 to tick 1. So now, if we look on the screen, I just have this highlighted right here. And I want to add a little fast little snare. So let me head back to the screen. And now, if I hit overdub, or if I hit record, we're going to clear that. I'm going to do a. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. So I'm not touching the record button. The sequencer is playing through. I'm getting ready to go on that. B4, 2, 3. I missed the first part. Let's play it back and hear what I got. Missed it again, so we're going to overdub to make sure I get that first snare sound. We're on overdub, we're still in punching mode. It's not going to punch in until I get there. So now we have like kind of like a drum fill, and we were kind of altering the pattern we already got by surgically kind of punching in certain different places and then adding our flavor. So now I can go to the track 2 where I got the little synthesizer plugin going. So maybe I want to punch in there. So I'll go back to the time navigator, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select measure 4. We're going to punch out on measure 5, punch in measure 4, beat 1. And that's going to clear all that out. Once again, we can see on the screen that I'm highlighted right there on measure 4. So now, I'm just going to play that line there, and I'm going to hit record and play. And even if you wanted to start closer, you could. So let's see. So if I wanted to just start closer, maybe I didn't want to wait. Maybe I had a whole song, and there's like 50 measures, and I need to go on measure 50, measure 48. Well, I can do that right here. So I don't have to wait for it. And then if I want to hit record and play, I will auto punch in at that point in time. The interesting thing about the MPC is that you have the play button and then you have the play start. Play start always brings you to the beginning of the sequence, but play will play right from anywhere like a tape recorder, which I really like. I was talking to my friend about, treat this like a tape recorder. So if you want to just tape on this certain amount of time of bars, you can. Or if you want to come from the beginning, you can. So I'm going to try and add that drum fill, or that bass fill, I'm sorry. But I'm only going to do it from measure 3 because I know measure 4, I got to go right in. So if I hit record and play, it's going to count me in. There it is. Uh-oh. I messed up there. I hit the wrong mode. Let's try that again. And this is good because I was overdubbing, so it's still allowing the other stuff to be in there. So what I'm going to do now is reset that, and I'm going to make sure I hit record, but we're going to start at that measure. So just for example, I'm going to hit record, record and play. There it is. It's counting me in. Here we go. So we got a bass line that is playing along with that drum fill. So it kind of makes it like things are playing together. Here it comes again. And that's not bad considering that I'm still quantized in 1/32 seconds. So that's pretty good because normally I would miss a note in that scenario. Which is great. And so maybe I want to cut out some information on the sequence. But that's typically how you do with auto punching. And like I said, I think this could be a great tool, especially if you're dealing with long songs. And maybe you're like, you have a whole beat that's like 100 or 200 measures long, and you just want to add a little variation somewhere. And it's a little bit difficult to do that on a platform outside of looking at a DAW where you have everything on screen. But if you know the measure number, and this thing is a great calculator for that, you go straight to that measure number and you can calculate how many bars you want to punch in, play your stuff in, and not destroy anything else. And the cool thing about this is that you can also do this with audio tracks as well. So I think that's a great tool. So if you have any questions about the MPC, let me know in the comments below. If you like this type of content, let me know. I'm Dillio. Follow me on Instagram at DillioT2K. Subscribe, like, comment. And I'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned for more remixes. I'm going to be hitting some more in the near future. All right, peace.
Dillio on the track.